sex?
My first time having anal sex.
Okay, yeah, I'd love to answer that.
My first time having anal sex was not good, and neither was the second or the third time either.
Depends on what you mean by the first time having anal sex. Like the first time a penis was put into my ass, or the first time anyone fucked my ass.
It was pretty easy.
It was good. I liked it. I enjoyed it. He asked me if I wanted to, and I was like, I'll try it. He was very nice. He was gentle. And then he got rough after. Yeah.
It was the second time I had sex with a dude, and I liked it so much for a while. I only wanted to have anal. It was really great. It was in a Volvo in the middle of January. It was really, really cold, but it was fun. It was great. So before I'd even had my first kiss, I was using my dad's credit card to get butt dildos off of Amazon. So I was just playing with my butt all day, every day, listening to 3-6 Mafia. And then when I lost my virginity, I was like, oh wow, I can do this with real people.
First time having anal sex was fantastic because it was with myself. I had a dildo. I lubed it up and I got on with it. It was quite nice. I really enjoyed it. I wanted hands all over me. I only had 2 hands. I was like, so I was touching myself, rubbing myself, opening up, the muscles, it was good. And then when I got with a partner, we enjoyed it together and it was beautiful.
My very first anal sex experience, I was probably 30 or 32, and it was with the person I was dating at the time, and it was good. It was a good experience, because I was old enough to I read up online and I warmed up with my toy and I kind of figured out what I wanted to do to get ready for it. So yeah, it was a really fun experience, actually, my first time. I think we were having a conversation of things that we haven't done before, and I had mentioned that I hadn't done that before, and I was like, yeah, I'd totally like to do that. I just hadn't found anyone. I know now it seems crazy. Everyone likes anal sex. But I've dated very few men. And other than him, none of the guys that I've been with have been into anal sex.
It was really painful because I was younger and my boyfriend at the time really wanted to do it. And I'm a people pleaser, so I was like, okay, let's do it. And we did not know what we were doing at all. And he just kept trying to shove it in me, and I was like, this is not working at all. And so it's funny because in the sex industry now, I've learned so much from being in the adult industry that I sort of laugh at my first time trying to do it because there was no way it was gonna work. But yeah, now I would say it's definitely pleasurable.
Actually, it was great. I done it with my boyfriend, and it he relaxed my whole body before he even did anything, and basically massaged my butthole, so it'll feel good. And then while he was doing that, he was also playing with my pussy, so therefore when he was getting ready to stick it in, I didn't really feel it, and it was already in, so the stroke was in, and it felt amazing.
The guy that I was seeing at the time and I think we'd just moved to California and we're visiting my parents or something like that. We decided to go out into my parents' RV and try it. I don't really know what the logic behind that was, but I was super drunk, which was on purpose. We used a lot of lube and it was pretty good. It was pretty good. It wasn't super memorable. I was just okay, we did it.
I was in the shower with the love of my life, high school sweetheart, and he got probably this far in, and I screamed and we stopped.
Well, I would consider the first time I actually did anal was technically on camera, because I tried it in my personal life, but I'd never fully succeeded at it, if that makes any sense. The dick would go in, but not fully in, and that doesn't, in my opinion, until you get it fully in, it's not real anal, it's just anal playing around. So it happens on camera for me. I don't particularly love anal. I like watching it more than I like doing it, because what I see does not translate to how it feels. It looks a lot hotter than it feels. At least for me. Some people love butt stuff.
For the first 10 minutes was kind of uncomfortable, but then learned to, enjoy it.
I was maybe 18 or 19. I was pretty young. I remember my ex-boyfriend, and it was just I was with my period, that it was kind of a pain in the ass to period, blood. It's not that I don't like sex with
period, that's fine, but sometimes you are just lazy about like, you know, staining everything around you. So yeah, we just tried anal and it was very cool and I liked it. So yeah, no like scary stories about it.
Oh my goodness, it was not the easiest thing at all. It was just so like stop and go. I was not prepared for it. I don't know, it was just like really painful.
I don't remember the first time I had anal sex. Yes, I do. I was dating this guy and he just shoved it in without telling me. That was my first experience with anal. Maybe that's why it's not my favorite thing in the world. My stupid ex-boyfriend.
The first time I had anal sex, it was an accident. I was like, woo, wrong hole.
My first time having anal sex was off camera. I was probably like 17. I think we used lotion as lube, and I just remember thinking that it feels like I'm taking a never-ending shit.
It was painful, and it hurt, but it was a good hurt. But I wasn't sure yet how I felt about it afterwards.
The first time I had anal sex was probably the best experience I've ever had. I must have been like super into it because it was easy, went right in. My boyfriend and I both like finished, everything was great. But every time we've tried after that, it's been a little bit more difficult. Like we have to take longer to warm up, work harder for it.
The most typical anal sex experience ever. So I was a teenager, I had a boyfriend. He's like, oh, I see it on the internet all the time. Like, let's just try it. And me being me, try anything once, why not? I didn't know that there's a whole like prep process behind it. I didn't know anything, and he didn't know how to have anal sex. He never did it before. So it's basically like, okay, he's fucking my pussy and doggy. And then without really telling me, he does the accident. I slipped into the wrong hole. And I was just like, oh no, like run away from the dick, you know, that response. It was super cliche, first anal experience. It was messy, it was not fun.
My first time having anal sex off camera was terrible. I wanted to die, it hurt so much, and I said I'd never do it again. And then a few years later, another boyfriend talked me into trying it. And then it was really, really great. He warmed me up and took his time and didn't just try to put the dick in first. And I couldn't believe what I had been missing. So since then, I've been all about it.
Actually, it was the first time I got into porn. Was my first shoot. Joanna Angel shot it. It was with me and Mr. Pete, and it's documented and everything because I was like, if I'm gonna have anal sex, I want to do it the professional way.
My first time having anal sex was actually amazing. Well, okay, legitimate anal sex, because I had tried to have anal sex and it like didn't work because we didn't use lube, because I had no idea because no one teaches you these things. Like we need better sex education in our schools. But the first time I did it with lube was incredible, and I've never had anal sex as good as the first time I really had anal sex.
It was like with my very first sex partner, and it was one of those things where I was just like, all right, let's try it and see what happens, and I was not about it at all. And I got into porn, and all these girls were like, no, anal's awesome, I love it, big gaping butthole, blah, blah, blah. And so I was like, maybe I need to try this again, and I got a lot of advice and like kind of figured out how to work up to it, and now it's awesome.